Well, hello and welcome to the channel. My name's Johnny and you're watching Hillbilly Modeling, and it's time for a new build. And I always like to do a little kit review before I get into the build. Now, this is not a new kit. As a matter of fact, it comes from 1973, I think. But this is the next one that we're going to take a look at. So I thought maybe you guys like to see what's in the box. This is the 1/48 scale Nakajima A6M2-N Type 2 float plane fighter, also known as a Rufe. That's the code name that the Allies gave this aircraft. As you can imagine, that would be quite a mouthful on the radio, wouldn't it? And this is kit, let me see here, both ends are the same. So this is kit number 61017. And just take a look around the box real quick. We have a different paint scheme right here on the corner. Of course, a lot of writing here in Japanese, which I don't read or speak, but that's okay. And this is a Tamiya kit. And then on the other end, or other side I should say, we have an example of other kits available from Tamiya, which was very reminiscent of what they used to do back when this kit came out. Tamiya has released this kit 4 different times. I think this is the second release. A little bit of new tooling, and it comes with 2 figures. So let's go ahead and jump down on the bench here and take a look and see what Tamiya has put in the box for us. So, better check and make sure there's nothing on the back. I missed that last time, so there we go. Take the lid off. So what we have here is a lower wing section in its own separate bag. The next sprue, top wing sections and figures and cowling and cockpit in its own separate bag. We have some clear parts, 2 different options, closed or open canopy. And we have 2 sprues in here, and that is the fuselage with the floats. And this kit also contains a cart. Not a cart, a dolly. That's what they call it, a dolly. We'll take a look at those. We have a color fold out here. We'll take a better look at that in a minute. We have our decals, or decals if you prefer. We have our tech tips. If I can get it out of there. There we go. Tech tips for modelers, beginners, etc. And we have our instructions. There are 2 instructions. One in Japanese, of course, and one in English. So a quick look here at the paperwork. Tamiya Tech Tips. Now this is good if you're new at modeling, or if you've been getting bad results. Might be something in here that will help you get better results. So, worth a read. And we do have 2 sets of instructions. Of course, I will be going through the English instruction here. Now it's just a fold out, nothing fancy, and this is an older kit, so kind of what you expect. We've got a nice black and white photograph here. As you can see, the aircraft is setting on its dolly. And we have also some history, which continues over onto the next page. And then we go into the building up of the aircraft. I think, yep. So the way this is laid out a little different than what we're actually used to in a lot of kits, but our number for our step is over here, and it tells us what to do, what to paint, etc. And then we have the diagrams that lay out what we need to do. And very simple cockpit. This is a bomb construction. Step 2, very simple engine. Of course, at this scale, you're not going to be able to see a whole lot in 1/48 scale. We'll see how those details are when we start putting this together. And I think your propeller, you're supposed to be able to spin it, so it's not supposed to glue that. Use a small amount of adhesive. Yeah. So you want A19 to rotate. So very simple. Not a lot of parts in this kit. So we have our step 3, the cart to put together, or trolley. I keep calling it a cart. Step 4, we build up our floats. Step 5, we build up our fuselage with the cockpit, and then our engine and cowling. Step 6, we have our pilot, and it looks like a gun sight. And then our wing assemblies and stabilizers. So yeah. Step 7, attach the floats. Fixing of the ladder and stand, step 8. And then step 9. Just to finish up the aerials and canopy and stuff like that. We also have at the bottom here the painting of the engine and a breakdown of how to paint the figure. This is the standing figure. We also have a pilot figure, this sitting figure. And then we have painting and markings. So there we go. Depends upon which version you want to build and which markings you want to use. There's also a little insert down here at the bottom showing dark green as a fuselage color. And then on the back, this is another color scheme. No, this is the dark green. So there's 2 colors that they're recommending that you use for this, and that's really it in the instructions. So basically 6 pages. That's it. Not very many parts. I think it's less than 60 parts, so it ought to go together pretty quick. Quick look at our decals or decals. Now these are pretty standard affair for Tamiya. A little bit on the thick side. As you can see, I hope I can get the light just right to where you can see it. Alright, I'm having trouble getting the light right. Well, I don't normally have that kind of problem. There we go. So you can see that the carrier film is a little bit thick on it. But I don't usually have a lot of trouble with it. But I do usually have trouble with things like stripes. They never seem to come out right. So always a possibility that we'll just paint those on. Then we'll take a look at this. This is nice. And it shows us in the naval gray or the green, which is a really interesting paint scheme. I really like that, so I might be looking at trying that. I like that, and I like the yellow on the tail number. So interesting, something to think about. So we have those 2 options there, and of course if you have photographs of other types of this aircraft painted up differently, you can certainly do that. So our first sprue, now this is the lower wing, the bottom of the lower wing. I guess that's the lower wing, the bottom of it. This is the bottom of our wings. So it's all one piece, and you can see we have our areas where the floats go. And these are mostly recessed. There's something, must be a hinge or something there that sticks up a little bit, but the rest of them are all real fine recessed panel lines. It's hard to see in this gray, but there we go. So that's a lot of panel line detail there. Very nice. I don't see any flash. Well, a little bit of flash right there. Fairly large on the leading edge here. Sprue gates. Not too bad. Nothing on the inside to look at, because we don't have any wheel wells or anything, so we don't have to worry about that. Next sprue we're going to look at will be sprue A. And we have our cockpit detail there. That's very mid-1970s. This little bulkhead right here goes behind the pilot's seat. We got our pilot seat. We have our dash. There's no detail on the dash. We have those decals for that. Yeah. We do have some interior sidewall controls there. We got our cowling. A little bit of flash on it. Not much, but a little bit. And you can see those recessed panel lines there, especially for these cooling, what do you call those? I have forgotten. Not vanes, but it'll come to me later. These are in the closed position. Then we have our propeller. And a little bit of molding splatter or something there on the spinner. That'll sand right off. That won't be a problem. There's our engine detail. Not a lot there, but I don't think you're going to be able to see a whole lot. Most of what you'll see will be the front of the crankcase there. It's got little bitty bolt detail in there. A little bit of flash on it. That should sand up nicely. And this is the back section here of our propeller hub. Yeah, then we have our rear stabilizers here. And really, really fine lines here, our panel lines. Now these are single piece. They're molded on both sides, so we don't have two pieces to put together there. And then we get our upper wing sections here. Same type of panel line detail as we have on the lower wing section. And of course you got a left and a right. There is this weird molding swirl, but it's not there. It's just visible. Once it's painted up, that will disappear. Now this sprue has no tab on it, no A or B or anything, but we have our fuselage. Just a little bit of flash here and there, but it is an older kit, so I don't see it being a problem. Never had it to be a problem with a Tamiya kit before. It's always a first time. And we have our panel lines. Now some of these are recessed and some of them are standing proud. That ought to paint up nicely. And then we have our float sections as well. A left and a right for that. Little bitty panel lines in that. They're not out of scale, I don't think. We should be able to get this to weather up really, really well. So, really nice. Now, most of the time, the rudder was fabric. I don't know if it was on this. I believe it was on this aircraft too. So on the inside, this is probably where that one panel for the cockpit goes. And then on the other side, we have some support structure detail there to paint up in weather. So that's the fuselage sprue. And then we have sprue B. We have our wing floats. And here is a large strut. And then we have what the ladder and the parts that make up our trolley. Little wheel for the trolley. We also have our bombs. Not terrible for 1973. Those look good. These are our bomb racks, or hard point mounts for that, and then the frame, of course, for the trolley. Not a lot of detail on that trolley, so we'll have to do some creative painting there to see those. The wheel detail on the back side is just as good as it is on the front side. A little bit of flash, but not bad. Not bad at all. Okay. Next up, we have our sprue C, which is our clear parts. Now, really not much distortion. Tamiya has always been really, really good about making their clear parts. Really fine frame detail for our canopies and also our windscreens. Now we have two options here. We can build it, I don't know which is the best way for you to see it. We've got the three sections here if we want to build it with the canopy open. Or if we're going to build with it closed, we can go with the other canopy there. So we have our open or closed option there. And we also have what looks to be a gun sight. Very small. So, and that's, oh, there's also something else here. I don't know what this is. Part 5. I don't know. Looks like it's a support to keep something from tipping over. It could be that on our trolley, the aircraft might be a little tail heavy. So when we build this, we might need to keep that into mind there. We might need to do some weighting of this aircraft so that it doesn't tip back on its tail. But that's kind of what that looks like. It looks like a little support for the center float. I don't know. I have to take... Let's go back to the instructions and see about clear part C5. There we go. C5. So I'm thinking when we build this, we might want to put some weight, maybe inside our float. to keep from having to use that. The stand, C5. But they molded it out of clear, so it's not supposed to be visible. I guess clear parts make it invisible, maybe. So, all right. All right, so that's our 148 scale Nakajima A6M2-N Type 2 float plane fighter, better known as a Rufe, by Tamiya. So, this is the next project that I intend to build. So, hey, special thanks to all my subscribers. Because of you guys, I keep making these videos, and I hope this was a thorough enough look at what we get in this rather old kit. Copyright 73. I think it came out in 74 to the masses, and yeah. So if you're new to the channel and you're not a subscriber, I hope today I earned your subscription. And if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and press that like button. I'd appreciate that. So until next time, guys, stay safe.